Yo.
We are back.
We back again.
The vibe is right.
The vibe is so right because the Kendrick Lamar album just came out and it's fire. Okay?
Hey, don't also neglect Lorna Shore. That came out too.
That was one song and it was aight.
It was really good, dude.
It was aight. That Kendrick album is hitting, though. I don't know when this episode is going to come out, but in real life, the Kendrick album came out yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
And I've listened to it 4 times already. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, it's super good.
I missed you guys.
Missed you too, dude.
I feel like we hadn't been in this room in a while.
Yeah,
no,
the past couple times we've recorded, it's been like a 3-week gap. So we've recorded like it feels like very little. Like you guys see a new episode every week.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's gaps.
Yeah,
for
we're
us.
restructuring. We're working on making the shift to where Nick is eventually here in town, so we can just pump it out.
Yep.
But I'd say we're on the track.
We'll be there.
We're there.
We'll be there.
Dude. Big freaking news.
news.
Not only did we just hit in the top 1.5% of all podcasts worldwide, but now we just reached the top 100 charts for podcasts in the U.S. for the spirituality category.
Woo!
And I think in the United Kingdom we're like number 66 or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which
Sweet.
I don't know how many there are in the
That's
United
amazing.
Kingdom, but
Yeah,
it's
98,
incredible.
baby.
Like
At least
it's just
66.
at least 66. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you would think there's got to be 100 at least, but
It is wild that we started doing this a year ago and we're already on so many people's radar. Like we're climbing. We're
it's
climbing.
just more confirmation to me that what we're doing is real
and important.
and important,
Yeah.
and like the beings, just like they told my father in 2019, actually in 2012,
Yeah.
with that encounter, that they'd be guiding our family and like making things happen along the way, and I just feel really good about where we're at. So
Yeah. But before we wrap that up, if you have any interest in extremely esoteric occult lyricism, reincarnation, past life regressions, chakras, all that stuff, like that Kendrick album is full of it. So please listen to it.
damn,
Can you guys tell what kind of episode we're doing today? What were you gonna say, Al?
Well, I thought you were getting ready to plug the Patreon. And then
thought it was too.
you were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm glad you
Also-
didn't know. I'm glad you didn't.
Also, we have a Patreon. You can check it out if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Kendrick is more important.
Yeah, that shit was good.
It's very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Look, guys, look at this. You want to go show it off while
Yes, I
I
do.
tell
I do.
them what they're seeing? Okay, so we have a Patreon now, and it's awesome. And if you want to go over there, you can. You'll get early episodes, and you can be in our Discord community. So what we have here is we have a special Patreon What If jar. So we're gonna make sure that every What If episode that we do, we're gonna prioritize pulling a few out of the Patreon jar. So, you have a little bit of a better chance of getting your things pulled if you're in the Patreon. But don't worry, if you're not in the Patreon, we still got you. We're planning on doing the same number of Patreon submissions and regular submissions. So if you're not on the Patreon, no worries. We still love you just as much as everybody else. Everybody that's in the Patreon.
Yeah, Mothership Discord is popping as well. I mean, we just really have some bright minds in there. And
Totally.
also some dark minds if you look at the memes. No, I'm just kidding. But I love a good dark meme.
The memes are next level.
The memes are very high level esoteric memes. It's
if you like some deep fried esoteric memes, get in there because
I'm the only one that does the deep fried memes.
we got some meme wizards in there.
We do.
Though.
I love a deep fried meme, dude. It's just something about it, man.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe it's
love
because
it.
I'm from the South and most of our food is fried. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That makes so much sense.
That checks out, man.
Well-
We got to deep fry everything, including our memes.
Yeah, including our memes. Yeah.
we can't even do memes without deep frying it.
Yeah, dude. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the
What if?
Patreon jar. Do you want to do the first one?
Thank you. I'm honored.
Me
This
too.
is the first ever drawing from the Patreon jar. We got to come up with a cool name for this specific jar. Not right now. You don't have to do it right now.
I was just
okay?
oming.
Oh, by the way, the people in the Discord, we call them our omies.
Yeah, dude. They're the omies.
They're the omies.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So perfect, dude. Guess who submitted this one?
Who?
Bat Force Tom.
Hey.
Bat Force Tom is in the Discord. He also has an epic Batman podcast. Check it out.
Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio. Check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bat Force Tom, for submitting this, and we're gonna get into it right now. Ready for this?
Yes.
Ready for this?
Yes.
All right. What if the Vatican knows the truth about the lady and has been using the Virgin Mary as a placeholder?
That is a fact, actually.
Whoa, hold up. Hot take coming from Ryan. Hold up. We need a hot take alarm every time he says some deep shit. Woo! Yeah, hot take alarm. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so several years ago, my dad got some, like, I guess I should say correspondence from some Jesuit priests
Right.
through some of our mutual contacts, like Diana Pasolka, and they know that whole story. And when she went to the Vatican, she was telling my dad, like, they have these extra documents in the archives about light being encounters way back then. They know in the Vatican 100% that the light beings are real and saints of the past were interacting with them. Like, there was accounts of Saint Francis of Assisi, for example. He's more of a well-known, like, Catholic saint, from back then. And he's the first guy, I believe, who, other than Jesus, of course, JC, Natty Boy.
Young JC,
But,
Natty Light for life. Ripped, son. You know what I'm saying? He got the gains for days. He got the bruise for days.
Oh, bro, dude, I was at a tangent. I was at a wedding 2 days ago.
Shout out Love.
Stan.
Shout out Love.
Shout out Love. Shout out Stan.
Shout out Stan the man.
Yeah, Stan the man.
He also be cooking up the memes, dude.
Yeah.
He got the memes.
Yeah, well, I went to his wedding the other day, and, dude, I was dying on the inside because the guy who, like, officiated the wedding literally made a comment about how Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine at a party.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it's catching on.
Yeah.
But
Stan, I got the chance to meet him. We literally just bumped into him in the middle of Wilmington.
Yeah,
You're
so
a great
weird.
guy. It was him, and that was his now wife, right?
Yeah.
Great people.
Shout out Jenna.
Shout out both of you. Super happy I got to meet you guys. You guys are great. And
So-
congrats on your wedding. Congrats on
Yeah,
being married.
dude, it was fun, man. It was a very spiritual wedding. They talked all about, like, them being in this carnation together. There was a lot of reincarnation verbiage. I mean, it was definitely I would say it was a new age wedding.
That's badass.
Dope as fuck.
New age drip.
Anyway, so Jesus was the first one to get the stigmata, and then I believe the next was Saint Francis of Assisi. And, like, in the Vatican archives, it's listed that he encountered a light being and he developed rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, which was that's the
Stigmata.
truth. It's not really like, Jesus, you get nails in your hands like you see on horror films. You know, that's the
right.
stigmata. That's not it. They described it as rheumatoid-like symptoms, which, by the way, my dad, he encountered light beings, came down with
Got the
rheumatoid.
rheumatoids.
I believe he got his rheumatoid diagnosis in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 2012 or 2013. So anyway, moving forward, they know about the lady. I know for a fact because they've told me, like, high-level members of the CIA and the DOD and et cetera, at NASA, they know about the lady. They told us, the CIA people, like Tim Taylor and Jim Semivan, both of these two guys on separate occasions told us that this lady entity that my family, through my father has experienced, has been revered around the world since the dawn of man, since, all religions have worshipped her or revered her in one way or another. And they equate that the Catholic, very famous experience in Catholicism known as the Fatima, do you know what I'm talking about?
It rings a bell, but...
So in can you look that up, Alex? Just look up Fatima. It'll
It's, the Lady of Fatima.
Yes, the Lady of Fatima. It's like...
Oh, yeah, we've talked about this before here, yes.
And they have different accounts of that, too.
Totally remember that.
They equate the lady my father experienced to being that same entity, and then also, entities throughout time, female goddesses or whatever. And I'm not, like, saying that literally is the same entity. What I am saying, because I don't ever just endorse, like, what the government says. And, unless I feel in my heart that it's worth endorsing, and I know that it's true.
Yeah.
Because we all know they out here lying.
They out here lying.
They out here lying, and the Vatican's out here killing for thousands of years.
The Vatican's out here killing.
Hey, I'm just... Hot take.
Yo, hot take. Where's the alarm, bro?
Well, that's what this whole episode series is for, right?
What, the hot takes?
Yeah, that's why we're doing a what if.
It pretty much is, yeah. But anyway, so I don't know that it is the same entity, but I know that they believe it is.
Oh, okay. The same entity as...
That my father saw, the lady.
Oh, okay.
What I'm trying to say is the government, the Vatican, these very high up, like, institutions that literally pull the strings for the course of humanity, they know that Chris Bledsoe and the Bledsoe family are the real deal because he saw this entity who has been revered, worshipped, described since the dawn of mankind. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, for sure. But the question was, are they using the Virgin Mary as a cover-up?
Thank you. So I personally believe that the mainstream version of Christianity, the doctrine, what was put together, the 66 books in the Bible, I believe that is intentionally put out by the Vatican in a way that is to keep people in a box. Like,
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
think that it's the true events of what happened around like the life and times of Jesus and what they believed in, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, if you look into alternative texts, they purport that Mary was born into the Essene tribe, which was a mystical Jewish tribe who had correspondence with, like, the Greek mystery systems, the Egyptian mystery systems,
Yeah.
the
we've talked about
Magi,
the Essene
yeah,
here before
right,
too.
right.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Magi from Persia, who were Zoroastrian priests, and it was indicated through some of these alternate texts that Mary may have actually been prepared by the Essenes and the Egyptian priests and whatever, like secretly, to live a life to give birth to a very prominent, influential figure who would alter collective consciousness of the time.
You want to hear something crazy? Just to, we talk a lot about how this information is like leaking into the public eye. I was watching the latest episode of Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee's podcast.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Zoroastrianism.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? This dude straight
we
up
should
talking
do
about...
an episode on Zoroastrianism.
I think we have.
No, we haven't.
We haven't?
No.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Zoroastrianism's sick. I mean, it's like the OG religion, basically.
It's yeah, pretty much. It's like the OG like Western religion.
Monotheistic religion.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And then that's some cool history there. And like, to expand on that, why not? Fuck it. It's a what if episode.
Woo!
We do tangents. Woo! This isn't much of a hot take. This is just historical fact.
I know, it's just fun now.
Yeah. I just copy you like always. But anyway, so
I appreciate it.
Historically, this is actually historical. 1,000 years.
Historically historical?
Historically historical. And that ain't metaphorical. I'm being literal.
Spin!
I mean, you know what?
Kendrick?
What can I say?
Yo, Kendrick came out yesterday, son.
Yeah.
This man's inspired.
Yeah, dude, I'm inspired. No, but shit. So 1,000 years before the birth of Jesus, you can look at like the original Zoroastrian texts. Like, it's in there. I think it was called the Gathas. If I might need to double check that one, but it was like the ancient Zoroastrian texts. They lay it out like they knew in 1000 BC in Persia that there would be a star in the east that would signify the birth of the Seoshion, which was their word for like Messiah, Christ,
Savior.
yeah. And they were teaching that for 1,000 years. And then in the book of Matthew, it talks about how the three kings or the three wise men, they were magi.
Yeah.
And they're the ones.
Zoroastrian priests.
Yeah, like, go check it out. I'm not saying you got to be all like religious and shit and, study the Bible, but I'm just saying, like, look up the story of the three wise men and look at where they're talking to King Herod in the story. And they literally tell him, like, the star signifies the Savior.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, there are real, genuine historical overlaps between Greek mystery systems, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Eastern mysticism, and Egyptian mysticism. But specifically what I was saying is the version of Christianity that we have today was put out in a way so that the lowest common denominator, the peasant class, which is, who we all are, at the time wouldn't understand the mystical significance hidden behind the texts. It was translated by kings. It was put out in a way that the priestly class would have the knowledge of like the Bible and how it worked. And then us, dude, think about it. When the Bible came out, most of the peasant class, non-royalty, what have you, they didn't even know how to read.
Yeah, no, they couldn't read. They didn't have access to the books. Like,
yeah. It's all fucked up. The mainstream version of Christianity. So anyway, I don't know how we got there.
Good question, Bad Force. Thank you.
St. Francis.
St. Francis, the lady. It always comes back to me, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be like extremely candid, it always comes back to Ryan Bledsoe doing everything he can in his power to shed his religious trauma of growing up with light beings and then my family saying it was evil and satanic and like having a preacher come into my house and sprinkle holy oil on my dad and try to get the devil out of him because he was seeing beings of light. So yeah, I got some religious trauma and I like to talk about it. So
hell yeah, man. I love talking about it. That's the only way that you can rid yourself of trauma is by talking about it.
That's actually one of my life missions is to like poke a hole in the mainstream understanding of like the divine, UFOs, reality, consciousness. And it all comes from me being so like bludgeoned as a kid, just from like me waking up and experiencing things in my daily life. It has caused me to react in such a way where I'm like, I'm going to get those motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I'm going to get them is I'm going to do something good, and I want to try to like make positive change in the world. So
That's some green man shit right there.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Oh, shit.
We're going to do another one from the Patreon jar.
All right.
The Omis jar.
The Omis.
The jar.
But you know what? Like, for anybody out there who, maybe they're not interested in Patreon, or maybe like, sad to say, maybe some people feel like they can't consciously decide to like throw away $5 a month. Totally get it.
Oh, and
you're still our Omis.
You are still our
Yeah.
Omis. If in any way a Patreon donation or your subscription is going to put you in a worse scenario, please respectfully do not.
Yeah.
We would much rather you be stable and happy and good.
If you want to support the show for free, check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, you're still
'Cause
the Omi.
YouTube,
You're still the Omi.
You're still the Omis.
For sure.
Everybody's an Omi.
Yep.
All right, this is a good one. Cairo Yoga Flow.
Hey, shout out Cairo Yoga Flow.
She is the one who was schooling us in our second BSS Discord like live chat. She was the one schooling us on like how the mudras affect like central nervous system, energy pathways and things like that. And like she's the one that we said in the Discord the other day. We are terrified for her to hear the yoga. Episode.
Yeah. We did a yoga episode.
If she, as knowledgeable as she is about yoga, if she can listen to that episode and like be a good sport about it and not cringe,
we should be good.
We should be good.
I could have listened to her talk about that all day.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa. Like it was, I was taken aback. She really was eloquent about how she was describing everything. It was awesome. Good. Like she should have her own podcast about yoga.
Or be a guest on one.
Oh my God. Yeah. You kidding me? That'd be epic.
Crazy. We have a metaphysical podcast.
We do?
Yeah.
What?
Top 100, bro.
Woo!
In the spirituality category, which is admittedly probably not that large. But anyway. All right. So let's get to the question.
Yeah.
What if Chris Sr.'s experience with aeronautics opened some part of his path towards exposure to the beings? Funny, because last week, I can't remember who it was. I think it was me and my wife, Jenny. Shout out, Jenny.
Shout out, Jenny. Shout out, Emmy.
Shout out, Emmy.
Because we have
Shout out, Mom, Dad, Jeremy, Junior.
Aliens, angels, light beings.
Alex.
Shout out, Alex.
Nice.
He's nice.
Yeah. We were just having this conversation last week. Like, how weird is it that my father, like one of the main things in his life was and has been aviation. I think it was Chris Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Chris Jr. were talking about this.
Yeah. They've always been into
aviation.
I mean, your dad literally flew planes.
Yeah.
And they love RC planes. Dude, I was over at your dad's house, 2 weeks ago or something? Me and Chris were making these.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Me and Chris were making these. We made little beglery skill toys out of D20 dice. And the entire time, your dad was in the shop working on planes.
Yeah.
The whole time.
When I was a kid,
them hanging from the ceiling. It's so cool.
And like I said, he used to build real planes. That was before I was born. But
so wild.
I just think it's so poetic. Like, is the saying, I might get this backwards, but there's a saying, life imitates art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just think it's so funny that when you look back on like my dad and who he is as a person and who he was as a person, how crazy is it that he was a commercial pilot? His whole life was aviation. I mean, when we were kids, he was lugging us to these flying competitions with the RC planes and shit. And then, years later, he throws that aside and he gets more serious about his family. And now, boom, he's the metaphysical aviation guy.
Yeah, literally.
He's been on a craft.
Yeah.
Eventually, we should do an episode on that. Like, specifically what his experience was like being on the craft. That'll blow people's fucking mind. And I was kind of waiting.
Well, I mean, we went over it in the regression episode.
Not in detail.
Right.
Dad
the way he
remembers,
describes it, yeah.
Dad, let's just say this. Dad remembers putting his hand on the I guess you could call it.
Like a dashboard or a console.
Yeah, and it had symbols.
Mm-hmm.
It had symbols, which he woke up and drew, and they were real. They were real star charts and shit.
Star charts?
Yeah. Unnamed galaxies. Yeah. And the beings told him, they took his soul from another galaxy, chose his parents in this realm so that he would be born here, and all the events in his life were preordained or whatever. But he remembers putting his hand on it and it reacting to his mind and wherever he thought he would be. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Discovery Channel didn't air that shit. They
cut all.
They didn't air any of the meat and potato,
the juicy stuff
of what happened to Dad. It's a shame.
Obviously intentional.
And you know what? They took him to the beings, they took him and showed him Egypt. This has never been said publicly. And this is probably going to make a lot of sense to a lot of people out there why I don't trust. I say the government. I think that's an unfair blanket statement, but let's just say I don't trust the people who hold the keys to the destiny of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't trust the 1%. I don't trust the high up, like military intelligence, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why. The beings took my dad out into space, whatever that is, and they showed him a missile approaching the craft that my father was in. And they showed him that they do that. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. Like when they take you places, it's like, reality is not normal.
Right.
And they showed him a missile coming up to attack one of their vessels, and they destroyed the missile. And they basically told my father, like, the powers of humanity are terrified of us. Like they don't necessarily, I don't know how to put it in words, but they're scared of us. They don't have a good agenda for humanity.
Right.
And that's
wait. Who doesn't have a good agenda for humanity?
The humans down here in charge. The high up, like
gotcha.
the heads of the Pentagon, the heads of the military, the heads of politics, the heads of finance, the heads of religion, the heads of everything.
So
they're evil motherfuckers. What's up, bro?
do you think that that's those people's own doing, or do you think that they're influenced by, say, the opposite or antithesis of the beings that we, I guess now all of us are experiencing?
I had a dream about that, actually, and I texted Jim Simivan this. We have the same birthday. And
you and Jim?
Yeah. So
Nice.
every year I just shoot him a happy birthday, and
Cool.
we'll kind of like make little chats and stuff like that. And I think it was last year. Yeah. I had a dream. Oh, but that's why I have his number, is what I was getting at. I have his number, and we keep in touch every year for our birthday and things like that. And last year I had a dream about him. And in my dream, he was, in real life, for the audience who might not remember, he was the head of the spy program, the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in your mind, if you can conceive of a panel of the highest ranked and, like most powerful / influential CIA officers
He's in there.
in America, he's on that panel.
Yeah.
He's a senior intelligence officer, incredibly powerful individual. I'm not trying to like stroke him and like make him look all beautiful and glorious. It's just a fact. Like, that is real.
Yeah, please don't stroke.
I'm not like stroking his pretty hair.
Yeah, please.
Damn it. I wasn't trying to be sexual, dude.
Alex is losing
I was going to say stroke his ego, and then mid-sentence I was like, that might come off mean.
please.
And then it just came out sensual.
Listen, honestly, in my opinion, we shouldn't.
I don't want to stroke officers in the CIA.
We shouldn't be stroking anybody on this show. There should be no stroking at all on this show.
Well, I'm not on camera.
Damn it.
Yeah, maybe you get a pass as long as your mic's turned off. All right. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well,
let me just like rewind and back myself out of that one.
Go ahead.
Cool. So answer the question, bro.
Okay. So, fuck, dude, what was he?
The actual question.
Oh, I had a dream.
Oh yeah.
I had a dream, and
you were stroking in your dream.
No, I'm not trying to stroke his ego. I'm not trying to glorify this person and say everybody go follow this person. I'm just saying
Right.
I know this to be fact. He's a very high-powered member of the CIA.
Yeah.
My whole point is I'm not trying to glorify,
Uh-huh.
the CIA. I
Right.
just did a very bad job of explaining that.
Right.
Anyway, so
Yeah. Woo! Woo! Go ahead.
I had a dream about him that he was at his position at the top, like an senior intelligence officer, and he was terrified. I could feel from his perspective, his fear and his terror, that there was an alien consciousness. Like it wasn't like beings and shit. Like they want everybody to believe it was an entity of thought and mind. It was like an egregore, and it was dark. It was evil.
Mm-hmm.
And in my dream, it was possessing like the top members of humanity, like the military intelligence, the politics. It was possessing them, literally like spirit possession.
Mm-hmm.
And it was manipulating them to steer the course of destiny or mankind. And this shadowy entity was like at war with the spirits of light that my family see. Remember, this is all in a dream. And in my dream, Jim was constantly in terror that he was going to be possessed by this shadowy intelligence.
Wow.
But in my dream, he didn't get possessed. And I literally woke up the next day and I texted him, hey man, I just had a dream about you. And I explained the dream. And he responded by text. Dude, this is weird. Response from literally a senior intelligence officer of the CIA. He said, oh, thanks. Hope it was just a dream.
Bro. Little sus.
And like
Little sus.
Yeah, and one time at a party, I didn't use the word Illuminati because I thought that might provoke a response that I wasn't comfortable with, or like it might have given him like some sort of biased reaction, like this dumbass kid studying
talking
conspiracies.
about Illuminati.
Yeah. So I actually asked him, is the shadow government real? And if you know anything about psychology and micro expressions, you understand that like when people are off guard, we were at a party, we were drinking wine. It wasn't like some function or like a professional serious function. It was very casual. We were hanging out and I slapped him with this blindsided. I said, is there a shadow government? And I think his face gave it away, dude. He had this little grin, kind of like a...
You know I can't talk about that.
Yeah, and, and he said, let's just say that I have brushed shoulders with them. And then I asked him another question. I can't remember. I always ask these ballsy ass questions to try to like get stuff out of him. And I just do that with CIA people all the time. And he looked at me and he started grinning really big. And like my sister was there, and my brothers were there. And he was like, this is why I hate kids. I hate kids because, you know, they push you and they push you. And he was just like laughing about how I had the balls to ask him these questions that people probably don't usually ask him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think that the energy that is dedicated to these sorts of thoughts, feelings, and emotions, I think they can and do culminate into larger concentrations of energy. So I think that all of the good feelings, the good thoughts, the good energy, I think they have egregorically created an entity of good and light that influences us directly or indirectly.
It's the force.
And yeah, it's a force. And I think the same goes for the negative thoughts, the negative emotions. I think that it creates a dark entity. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of life is light versus dark. It's duality. It's, you know, it's a battle, it's a battle of energies. In my opinion, personally, I think that if some, the concept of being enlightened, you could maybe look at that as just kind of like being a pure vessel of the light energy or whatever.
A channel,
a medium, a conduit, whatever you want to call it. And then I also think, like you're talking about, like spirit possession, like there are people possessed by this dark entity, this dark,
but they're open
egregore.
To it. They're inviting it. They're playing with it.
Right.
They're stroking it.
So, God, you gonna bring it back there? You want to do that?
I had to get out in front of it. I had to get out in front of it.
Because when you were talking about your ballsy ass questions, I was about to say while you're stroking them.
Oh my God!
Oh man!
I mean, hey, dude, you said it.
Yeah.
So
we'll
anyway,
see if that makes the final cut.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyway,
I'm so glad my mom doesn't watch the show.
Great question. That was awesome. This question, how aviation correlates with your dad's. I think the interesting thing about that,
he's the UFO guy. That's
I think maybe you know how they always say like our minds are are most impressionable at a young age.
Yeah,
I think the same goes for our spirit and thus our path in life. You know what I mean?
I was going to say this earlier. The esoteric meaning of the phrase from the Bible, "We are made in the image of God." What that actually means is, God, the true God, the God above God, the one unity, the highest reality is the creator of everything. And we're made as little fractal pieces of that source. So when we come into this reality, we are made in the image of God. We are creator beings. People don't know this. They've forgotten the ancient wisdom. But when you make or do anything in life, you manifested it from your thoughts. It always starts in the mind.
Think about it first.
It starts in the mind. And then it transfers down into the heart where you charge your will through emotion. And then through your original thoughts and then, channeling your will through your emotions, then you're called to action. You actually do shit.
Yeah.
When you feel a certain way about something, you do something. Or if you feel badly about something, you
do something.
Can do bad things.
Yeah, it charges you.
That's the Trinity. That's like what Masons and Rosicrucians and shit teach about manifestation. The Trinity. That's another esoteric meaning of the Trinity as well. We are creator beings. We're made in the image of God. We have the ability to manifest things in this little limited reality that we live in. And it starts with the thoughts, and then it's charged by your emotions, and then it's the will is manifested into reality. So we're
Yeah.
made in the image of God. We're creator gods.
I think a lot of those people that are quick to make fun of or discount things like manifestation, like, that
They're ignorant.
Yeah, it's like, even if you think about manifestation at its most rudimentary form, you think about something and you make it happen with your physical body. That is manifestation. Like,
We're creating.
you're just choosing to think about it non-magically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just choosing to think about it in a practical, non-metaphysical way. But like, ultimately, man, like, it's insane the fact that we can form thought in the first place
And then manifest it.
And then
what is art?
That's magic,
What
bro.
is music?
It's magic. It's
Yeah.
manifestation.
It's all magic.
Anything.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything is
It's
everything.
all magic.
Yeah, for
Everything is everything.
All right.
All right.
Let's
turn.
do a third.
No, give me a.
You want one?
Give me a OG jar. Toss me the OG
Okay.
jar.
All right. We're just doing 2 and 2.
No, we're going to do 3 and 3. We'll come back to the Patreon one.
All right. That's cool.
I just wanted you to throw it. That's what I wanted.
I was not about to throw
We're
that
not gonna
jar.
throw our
Alex.
precious glass
I'm gonna
jar.
throw it back to you.
I would stroke you before I did that.
Maybe I won't throw it then.
I meant stroke your ego, dude.
Oh.
That's
You
what I
know,
was
that's
trying
what we
to
were
say.
talking about
That's
earlier.
what I was trying
Right.
to say.
Yeah, bro.
It just
Get your head out of the gutter, bro. Clean
yeah,
your
seriously.
chakras.
Yeah, dude.
Clean your energy, bro. Clean your chakras and your energy, dude.
This one is
You got to
from.
fix your sacral chakra.
Your cycles.
Okay, so this is from Mick A. Fallon at American Dream, but it's America with a K and then America-I-N-N Dream.
What up? Shout out.
What up? Shout
I
out
cannot
American
repeat
Dream.
that. I cannot repeat that. Mick
American
A.
Dream.
Fallon.
Yeah, Mick A. Fallon.
You
What's
yelled, dude. You yelled. What up? Shout out.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
Yo, this is
something
really
different.
this really goes off of what we just were talking about.
Oh, no way.
Thank
All
God.
right. What if we are all psychic, but most are discouraged from practicing or seeking their abilities because of a stigma? Because of stigma.
Bro, 100%.
Here's what I've come to believe. Tim Taylor, back in 2013, told my family that the human skeletal system. Here. Batter up.
Y'all crazy. Okay.
All right, now I'm happy.
Tim Taylor. I'm pretty. That was really satisfying.
Alex just like needed to get sports in here
Yeah.
somehow. You know what I mean? He's like, I haven't thrown anything.
Throw it to me.
Yeah, I haven't thrown anything in an hour. I'm about to freak out, dude.
Jar me.
I haven't surfed today. What do I do? Help me.
I
Tim-
haven't.
Tim Taylor, to bring it back to that, Tim Taylor told my dad, actually he told my family, that the human skeletal system is it's an antenna, and it's sending and receiving signals somewhere to a different location or reality.
Oh, dude, he talks about that in American Cosmic.
There you go. See, I haven't read it.
Yeah.
And I've come to understand just through my lifelong experience with, always being in touch with another world, literally, seeing orbs, entities, and having shit happen that denies reality all the time. I started to think about things, and I've come to understand that every human being is a channel for a unique, non-local consciousness. And that consciousness is your soul. It's your mind. And it's tethered to the human body through some sort of advanced mechanism. I believe, all the realities mirror one another. It's that Egyptian Hermetic principle, as above, so below. And I believe, like, in every level of your human body's manifestation, there exists a tether to the spirit realm. And like, they're trying to argue that DMT is the molecule that exists in all nature that literally carries the signal for consciousness. Like, scientifically, it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
But I believe we're all a channel, literally, to whatever our soul is or our spirit in another reality. We're channeling it, and we all have the potential. We're made in the image of God. God
Right.
is
Everything.
consciousness. It's everything. Yeah. And I think we all have the ability to develop our psychic perception over many lifetimes. And as a matter of fact, I don't just believe we have that ability. I believe that's the purpose of why we incarnate here.
So, you have not read that crystal manual that you let me read.
No,
Okay.
no, you got first take at it.
So, I read it, and that's literally like the first thing that it describes about crystals
Really?
is how, as just like a human body, as we are tethered to a spirit in another realm, so too is every crystal.
Damn.
Every crystal is a
I swear to God, I've not read that.
Yeah, it literally talks about like the fact that crystals and like, crystals as they're formed in nature. So the crystals can become fragmented.
Yeah.
And those fragments carry a small piece of the same consciousness.
Just like humans.
I was about to say.
Damn.
Which is literally what we are. Like if you believe in fractal consciousness, like, hello, we're all pieces of the one big consciousness.
Yeah.
And it describes that exactly. Like each crystal is home to a consciousness, just like a human body is, and it is connected to a soul or a consciousness in another realm.
Let's try and flip the script and like say it this way. Let's say you're making a video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially creating a reality, and on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you start with the first line of code.
Mm-hmm.
The code starts here.
Yeah.
You spend years and years. You're creating this big, beautiful video game reality with characters and nature and all these. You get the point. To the last line of code. So you start at the very first bit of code, and then you start with the last. I would argue that every piece of data coded into that script is intrinsically connected to and like equally a part of every other piece of code that makes that reality function. And I believe it's the same with like our consciousness. And we come into this little reality we're all equally a part of and in harmony with every other piece of code in this little simulation, and without any of us, doing what we were born to do and fulfilling our destinies on individual and collective levels, the system would fall apart.
Yeah, for sure.
We're all different pieces of the one true source code, if you want to relate it that way.
Yeah. Now, to bring it back to the question, the question was, do you think that a lot of us or all of us are psychically gifted, but don't chase that or don't realize that.
So that's the point of religion.
Because of stigma. The specific thing there was stigma. And I think that even in my own experience, for much of my life, the stigma about consciousness, spirituality, metaphysics, psychics, all of this stuff, or psychic ability, I've experienced, it's like you reach a certain age and you hear what everybody around you is saying, which the majority are saying like, that's bullshit. It's not real. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And you're stupid if you believe in that shit. Like you're low key dumb if you believe in that shit or whatever. So the stigma is a powerful one. And in a society where all we want to do is be accepted by our peers, it's very easy to be like, yeah, I'm just not going to believe in that shit because it's too risky.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's taboo or whatever.
I find with many things in life, if you're just like open, if you're just open to anything, you will make some stark discoveries, not only about the world around you, but about yourself too. And I found that with the psychic topic, with psychic abilities. Yeah. Because, we talk about it all the time. My entire life, through all of my religious beliefs, through everything in my life, I've always had like, prophetic dreams, deja vu. I've always had dreams that come true, always.
We've always like had thoughts at the same time.
Always.
Since we were kids.
And we still to this day, all the time, it happens. We say the same, we know what each other's thinking, that kind of stuff. And, for the majority of my life, it's like, nah, that's mumbo jumbo. That's bullshit. That's stupid stuff because that's what everybody around me is saying.
Right.
But as soon as I'm open to the idea, it recontextualizes my entire life. And I'm like, oh, it is real.
Yeah.
And I am one of those people. And hold up, all of us are.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yeah.
And like if you open yourself and see past the stigma, even entertain it. Just like, sure, what if?
Shout out, what if?
So, I think,
go ahead.
Not to cut you off.
No,
the stigma is a huge part of it, but the stigma caused by the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the society, the culture. But I also think that it more than the stigma, from the time that you're born, you're almost pulled in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You're not given the tools, you're not given the knowledge. It's actively hidden from you. And then if you're like me and you think that what you're drinking in the water is not good for you, what most food in the marketplace is not good for you, that people, or there's somebody out there actively poisoning you, whether it's on purpose or for $1, and all of that stuff, I believe, reduces your psychic ability.
I
So
mean,
even if you're on the journey, you're still
It like
at a
chokes it.
battle.
It
Yeah, there are
suppresses it, yeah.
studies that show that like fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. Right?
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I mean,
So-
Makes you
hello.
docile.
yeah.
If you know anything about the pineal gland, like that's like possibly the spiritual center of the body.
It
Like,
definitely. is.
it's where all that comes
Like
from.
Rene Descartes, as far back as Rene Descartes, he was saying like the pineal gland is the seat of the soul.
Yeah, so like since you're born, you're drinking water that is calcifying it and essentially blocking the antenna. You know, it's like
And
Pretty
what's
wild.
crazy, like the entry level, I'm pretty sure the entry level brands of baby formula have fluoride in it as well.
Well, dude, think about this. Like, we're being attacked mentally, spiritually,
Yeah.
and physically on all fronts since the day we're born.
Right.
The school system, again, historical fact, in the 1920s, I believe it was, early 1910s or 20s, John Rockefeller created the public education system, the
Yeah.
standardized education system.
Right.
Yeah.
To create the most obedient worker.
Right. And like since the times of kindergarten, we're in school and then onward all the way up until we're 17, 18, we're only learning about things from scientific theory about the formation of reality. I'm not saying it's bad not to learn those things, but like we're bombarded with like only Big Bang,
facts. Like we're taught
Darwinism.
Right.
Yeah. Facts.
We're taught only the things that are, from the perspective of these people are the only tangible things. But then you find out that like there's so much other like metaphysical stuff
You know what?
have been proven that are just being suppressed.
And then if you're feeling spiritual, go to church on Sunday and then you sit in a pew and you get fucking yelled at by some dude who's telling you you're going to go to hell if you don't keep coming to church.
Yeah, like
And paying your tithes. And like every institution is stacked against the evolution of our consciousness. And that's what the Age of Aquarius is about. It's about a breakthrough of us realizing, there's beings out there, they're good. They're not trying to destroy us and scare us and terrify us. They're actually our guides, our watchers, our guardians, et cetera, et cetera. They're
guides.
the messengers from the spirit world, and they're coming to try and awaken us and show us how to evolve our psychic perception so that we can continue to the next higher levels of reality. And like that's the key to understanding why there's all this propaganda and stigma from the 1%, because they know and understand since the times of Egypt. They've been, since the priestly class, they have the occult knowledge, they have the wisdom. They understand that if we all had it, the evolution of consciousness would explode and they would have nobody to control and enslave anymore mentally and spiritually and things like that. So they desperately don't want the truth of these beings to get out. Why do you think they've yanked us around with a Hollywood deal for 9 years? Bro, these people come to our house. The CIA, NASA, Hollywood, all of them. They all come. They all see the beings. They all know it's real. Some of those CIA people have had miracles and their relatives or whoever being healed of like certain diseases and ailments. Then they go back and what do? They spout this UFO propaganda bullshit because it's the narrative. It's the drive.
It's much easier to maintain control when they can perpetuate.
We're all waiting for that Scientology gift wrapped version of aliens coming down and abducting us and shit. It's Scientology.
Yeah. Oh,
Great question.
Do we got time for another one?
I think we're doing did we already do 3 patrons?
No, we can do another one.
Yeah, let's do a patron.
How much time we got left?
We got like 20,
perfect.
15,
Let's do a
15
patron.
minutes
Perfect.
left.
Let's do another. Good. I was worried we were running out of time. I'm having fun.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's do another one from the Patreon jar. Sean Davis, man, shout out! Thank you
Shout
so
out.
much.
Yo, he's
for-
the guy that did the like little metal cover of our theme song.
Sweet.
Yo,
Yeah.
that shit was fire. And
Yeah.
post it everywhere.
Yeah.
'Cause that shit was sick. This Sean Davis, man, guy, he's a sick metal guitarist.
Yeah.
And he made a metal cover of our theme song.
Yeah. So Sean,
Which
when
is
this
something-
episode comes out, when this episode comes out, comment on like the posts with your song, and I will be sure to blast it out.
Oh, please.
In tandem with this.
The
episode.
funny thing is, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
We've been planning on making a metal cover of our theme song for
a year.
Since we started this. We just don't have the right equipment. I've literally the only guitar I own right now, electric guitar, is a Fender Strat, which if you know anything about not cars, if you know anything about guitars, that ain't the guitar for metal music.
It's like a jazz guitar, right?
Yeah, like we could
Yeah.
make it work, and we probably will. But
And not to
anyway.
mention, we live 2 hours away, and
It's
every
very
time we get
difficult.
together in the last year,
We
it's
do this.
doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, big shout out, Sean. You're awesome, and honestly,
He
thanks.
beat us to covering our own song.
I was just about to say, honestly, thanks for beating us
Yeah.
to doing
That
because
definitely light a fire under our asses.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
motivating, but also I was like, I saw how cool it could be because he didn't just do like the minimum. He went hard. Like it's really cool. So shout out. All right. I just paper cut myself. That was fun. All right. What if you could reincarnate as a spirit guide? That's crazy. We were basically just talking about
I
that.
believe that's a fact.
Wait. Okay. Hold up. I'm going to take it a step further, Sean. Great question. Love that. Isn't that kind of what reaching the highest point of the soul? Like, okay, we've talked quite a bit about the light beings that we see, your family sees, your dad sees, and we've kind of implied that maybe those beings are just the highest evolution of a soul
Of us.
of us.
That's
of a
what the
soul.
Hermetics have taught since.
So
That's taught in Hermeticism.
So yeah, following that thread, then once you reach the top of the ladder of reincarnation, you kind of do become a spirit guide.
And in another way, if you think about it, those souls or those light beings, the spirits that are coming, the ones that have like dealt with my family and many others out there, the true phenomenon. In a weird way of putting it, they're almost like us from the future.
Yeah, and especially like if you put in context that time is completely nonlinear, that makes total sense. Actually, it's so crazy that we're talking about this right now. So shout out Alex, shout out
Alex.
producer Alex, because he put me on to probably my favorite person on the planet, Reggie Watts. I think that Reggie Watts is quite possibly the coolest person that has ever lived. And he's also psychic as fuck. And he's extremely musically talented.
Very.
And he is a mind-blowingly profound thinker. He has a Netflix special. Have you seen it?
No.
It's so good.
No.
Well, I'm not surprised I haven't seen it.
Right, you haven't
But
seen
I'm
anything.
like,
That's on
surprised-
brand.
How about this shit?
Yeah, me telling Nick about some musician is not on brand.
It's honestly, I'm shook that you showed me Reggie Watts because Reggie Watts is everything that I love in life in one person. He's silly. He has crazy fingernails. He doesn't give a shit about his appearance or what people think about him. He's hilarious.
He's talented as
nothing
fuck.
but pure light energy, and he's insanely musically talented. And he's into like hip hop, jazz, and R&B. Basically all my favorite kinds of music. And he's also into metal, which is crazy.
Let's get him on the show.
Huh?
Let's get him on the show.
Yeah,
That would be
we'll get him on the show. That would be my, like, I would be more excited to have Reggie Watts than any other person on the planet.
That'd be dope.
He'd probably faint.
I would, than any other person on the planet. Anyway, I'll get to the actual story.
Yeah.
This is crazy. On his Netflix special, in the middle of it, he just starts going on a rant about how ghosts are just different incarnations of our own soul from the past, present, or future, and we are just peering behind the veil and seeing things that happened to our own soul's incarnation, past, present, or future.
You are basically a fragment of your ancestors from the past.
Yeah, like in the middle of a literal stand-up comedy set, he just starts going on a rant about that, and then he's like, "All right, let's do another song," boop, 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 and starts doing another song. It's like,
I saw his what was it, Pop Tech or what?
Yeah,
I saw that one.
It's-
I've seen it twice.
it's mind-blowing.
But like, it's crazy when you think about that. Like, they're beings of light. We all know like speed of light travel, blah blah blah. When you see light, it's like technically coming from the future or whatever. And like these beings appear from the other side as these light entities. And the lady in 2012 told my father that the purpose of this life is a journey of the soul, and eventually mankind, we will be as they are. And like, you never truly die. You go to the eternal world. They didn't call it the spirit world. They called it the eternal world. That's what they told my dad the true reality is. And he's been calling it the eternal world ever since. Like, when we die, someday we will be there. And I believe, like you said, time is nonlinear. We may just say, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to guide the people who want to be like where we are. You
Yeah,
know, it's just
yeah.
different levels of reality. It's different layers. You know, it's a multiverse.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good question.
That was a very, very good question. Shout out Sean Davis. You want to do another one?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Let's do another one from the regular jar.
Yeah.
OG jar.
OG jar.
OG. Here we go.
Yeah.
Fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Y'all. Fuck it up.
What if the
y'all.
mainstream media gave you a platform to tell your story on for national television? Would you do it? Why or not? Why not? At DJW4177.
DJW4117.
I want to take a shot at it.
Oh, take a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think why not?
I feel like the question was addressed to me, but I will allow you to.
I know. Well, hey,
Just move your mouth
do you
while he
produce
talks.
the show?
No.
Do you produce the show?
No.
Oh, I didn't know.
Wow.
You're doing a great job answering this question. So far.
Yeah,
Yeah, take the lead.
I think you would. I think the caveat would be if it was just like the way it is now, complete creative control.
Yeah.
And if they
Yeah,
just
why
gave you the
not?
platform, why not? Like if they gave you
Yeah.
the stage, I don't think they'd do that.
You want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
I would be terrified to go on national television with one of these industry shills who are notorious for gotcha journalism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would never put myself in that position. It's like jumping in a tank with sharks. I mean, I'm literally on a podcast calling these people out for being like, you know, phony, fake, like they're tricking humanity. And if I was to go on their show and then
You're in the lion's den.
You're in the lion's
their
den.
house. you know?
Exactly. And it's
Ryan
like,
This is our house.
this is our house. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do whatever the hell we want. And if the conditions were sufficient to where that fear was removed from the equation, oh, hell yeah, dude. I would talk
because
to the whole fucking world. I don't care.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, we're not here for, like, a debate. We're not trying to debate. We're pondering. That's what this podcast is. We're pondering. We're showing you the stuff that we find interesting, that we find cool. We do research about these crazy metaphysical, esoteric topics, and we talk about what we find here. That's it. We're not here to tell you.
And what we've experienced.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And what we've experienced.
I'm not interested in debating with anybody.
No, we're not here to
Because when
tell
you argue with stupid people, they drag you down to stupidity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not here to argue. We're not here to convince you of anything. We're not here to do any of that. We're just here to talk about the stuff that we are learning and experiencing.
Yeah.
So if it was a platform where we have full creative control, why not?
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
would
amazing.
totally do that,
It's
yeah.
just this on an arguably bigger platform. But the thing is, the beauty of the internet is, like, very quickly
It can get there.
our platform can eclipse TV platform, because TV's numbers are nothing compared to the internet's numbers.
Not
today.
anymore. Yeah,
Today.
yeah. And like, honestly, if you behind the camera right there, if you love the show, if you love what we're doing, if you see like the value in what we've done together and what we've achieved with you listening for the last year, I mean, top 100 spirituality chart, 1.5%, blah, 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 about to be at 250,000 views by our 1 year.
Yeah.
Like dope shit. Like, this is real. If you believe that in your heart and you want to see us succeed, I would challenge you to go tell 5 people about our podcast.
Ooh, that's fun.
And if the thousands of people that watch every month, if they all went and they told 5 people, well, that's grassroots, baby.
yeah.
You know?
Share some links.
Yeah.
Share some links.
The
That'd be cool.
Omies got our backs. Hopefully.
The Omies, all the Omies. We ain't just talking about the Patreon
Yeah.
Omies. We talking about all the Omies.
Yeah.
Y'all are all the Omies. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
real.
mean, like, we are trying to. That's what we're doing here. We're not trying to tell you what to believe. We're trying to spread the things that we believe and
Yeah.
what we find interesting.
And like, if people don't like that, just click, turn it off.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
not like we're
For
harming
sure.
anybody.
Exactly.
Or hurting
And
anybody.
we're not trying to force anybody to think a certain way or believe a certain way.
And it's important to mention in tandem with that, like we're intentionally and very carefully, thoughtfully crafting our platform in a way where this metaphysical knowledge that we believe is valuable enough to be shared to the world, and like the experiences of my family, we're never going to lock that behind like, oh, Patreon, next tier, you could. No, it's never going to be that way. Any content that we're putting out there that we're working extra for to like try and, get the resources to grow the show and like put this on a Patreon wall and this and that, it's going to be pure entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pure valuable, like, this is funny, this is fun, whatever. But like the messages that we're trying to put out to humanity are always going to be right here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
some people's formula is like put the juicy stuff behind the
a
paywall.
paywall. Yeah, and
We ain't gonna do
that's
that.
not our vibe. We're not.
I mean, we'll have some juicy stuff in the future, but we're not going to keep anything away from
it's
the
going to be
public.
content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they'll see soon when they.
Yeah.
when
If you like funny stuff or
Fun
behind
stuff,
the scenes,
funny
Yeah.
stuff, behind
Yeah.
the scenes stuff. You get the episodes early.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, like-
maybe we'll start doing an exclusive live episode. You know, I even had the thought we could start doing the what ifs as live streams. That could be cool. We're experimenting, but we're never gonna
Point
like, keep
point
the juicy
being,
stuff from it.
we're very sensitive to the fact that there is a real message that my family, and since the last year, Nick and Alex, in association with us, have an urgency to tell to the world, and we're very sensitive to the fact that should never be like, if you pay this little fee, here's the message. Like that's why we're here in the first place. You have all these secret societies and all this shit, and like they're cool, whatever. That's not what we are. So
Cool.
do we have time for another one, baby?
yeah, it's up to you,
Maybe
man.
we could do one more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
let's do one more.
Is it your turn or is it
It
Alex's
is-
turn?
It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I
You
just did.
just went.
I
No,
just
I just-
went.
I just did that.
Oh,
What is that
Yeah, he
one?
did because he.
Oh,
you
you're
got
right. It's
mad at me
Alex's
for
turn.
trying to answer it.
It's
Don't
Alex's
argue
turn.
with me, boy.
It's Alex's turn. I'm not throwing it to you. No sports for
Dang
you.
it.
Leave the sports ball at home.
We don't play that sports ball here.
I left it at home.
You got to align your chakras, bud.
Dude, I was talking to somebody the other day. Like, I think I was talking to Jenny, and I was like, how funny would it be if we like created these characters? And you and I have talked about this too. Like, created these characters who are just like these country ass bumpkins, metaphysical, into chakras and stuff. And then I realized like that's us and my dad
That's just us.
and your dad. Yeah, that's actually really us.
My dad. We were at Freddy's
Ooh.
the other day, and my dad was just like, "You ever think about like life, death, and reincarnation?" And I was like,
All the time.
"That's what my podcast is about, Dad."
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I just. It was crazy out of nowhere. He's like, I just feel like everything is a parallel to the life, death, and rebirth cycle of Jesus Christ. And I was like,
Well, that's like what the mystics teach. Yeah.
yeah. All right, Alex.
That's pretty cool though. It's like
yeah,
Hey.
my dad is wild. I love
from
him.
at it's Aiden22.
Hey,
It's
Aiden.
8:22.
What's up?
What's up, Dad?
Always welcome to the Omies.
Okay, so he's referring. I don't know. They're referring to the History Channel or the Discovery Channel.
The
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah, the documentary. What if the Chris Bledsoe documentary didn't end up being a hit piece and instead opened up people's eyes to the true nature of our world?
Well, that'd be awesome. Bye, guys.
Show's over. I think
We wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I think if they did it justice and they didn't like air the parts where they insinuated dad was lying or being deceptive or untruthful, and which they totally freaking fabricated that. We already went to the history of the lie detector and how they came up with that shit and how they like got you with dad and like got him in the room, blah blah blah. If that didn't happen and if they actually did the work and portrayed it how it was, I feel like it would probably be like the most valuable UFO documentary of all time. And I feel like it already is. It's the only documentary out there that I know 100%, and I know and I believe from my very intimate experience with the United States government and UFOs and blah, 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 that has, elements of the truth in it.
Well, I mean, there's Dorothy Isaac.
That's what I was going to say. It's
Okay.
the only other one. It's the
Gotcha.
only other one that I, believe this, that, and the other. But like, come on, it's my dad. So naturally, to me, it's the most important.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
my dad.
Yeah.
I'm biased, but
That would have been great if they didn't do a hit piece. We probably wouldn't have to be doing this right now.
yeah.
like
but I'm glad we are.
Oh, I couldn't be happy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty
It's
awesome.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's the last one. We're gonna end the episode with a fun fact. You ready?
We are.
You know nothing
I
about
have no
this.
idea.
Okay, I just thought of it in my head just now. I learned this a couple days ago. Did you know? You know what happens when you take a spearmint lifesaver in a dark room and you bite it?
No.
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Uh-huh. I won't spoil it. You can say it.
Okay, so what happens is if you are in a nitrogen atmosphere, which like in most humid places you are, like if there's any kind of humidity in the air, and you take a spearmint lifesaver, one of the hard mints, and you go into a dark room and you bite it and you leave your mouth open like that, you will see a spark of electricity. And the reason, this is crazy. Actually, it was like Hank or John Green. I saw one of their TikToks. They were talking about it. The reason is there is a specific crystal.
Ah, now we talking, homie.
There's a crystalline
Homie.
compound or whatever. There's a crystal that when split unevenly, which is when you bite it, basically,
Yeah.
the electrons are separated unevenly, and whichever side has more electrons, the electrons will jump from one to the one with the more, and it will create a lightning effect that you can visibly see.
Interesting.
I had to sneak in the
That
crystal.
is a fun fact.
I had to get in the crystal.
That was a very advanced crystal reference.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Nick and I have a new thing. From now on, every time we record, like going forward, we will always be crystal dripping.
Oh yeah, we crystal.
So like, I got my, represent the 7 chakras right here.
I got the rose quartz, my fave, obviously because of the best show
I've got
ever
the
made.
7
Steven
chakra
Universe.
stones on my neck,
We got the sunstone.
and then on my wrists, I've got the 7 chakra stones plus the amethyst wrap. You know what I'm saying? And then
you know what I'm saying? We
and
got the
then-
new age drip.
yeah, we created the new age.
We
drip.
created
Yeah,
the
we
new age
created
drip.
the new age drip.
Yo, by the way,
New age drip coming soon.
Hey,
Yeah.
bye guys.
Hey, we can end it there. Bye, guys.
Bye guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.
Peace.